are listening to the Postcast, presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and the Glebe Central Pub. The Glebe Central Pub is your neighborhood pub in the heart of the Glebe. Go check them out for tasty drinks, great food, and an amazing atmosphere. Try to beat Pilsy and I's best high score in the game of darts. Won't be hard. We took about 100 shots to get to 501. I'm Ross Levitan. Alongside Brandon Piller, we've got Jack Richardson with us as well, breaking down a 3-2 win. The Ottawa Senators end their home campaign the same way they started it back in October, with 2 points against a division-leading team for now. It was an important game for the Hurricanes, but Pilsy, no points for them.
Claude Giroux did not want to see the Carolina Hurricanes have any success tonight, and it was refreshing to see the Ottawa Senators beat this team as they hardly ever do. And you mentioned it, Ross. Home opener, W. Home closer, W. That's how you put to start and end on the season here, as a packed CTC got to not only enjoy a win, but a monumental moment for Claude Giroux and the Ottawa Senators. Jack, I'll snap it over to you with this one. Can you believe that Claude Giroux is an Ottawa Senator?
I cannot. I cannot believe it. It's unreal. It's unreal. Like that whole night just felt special. And I think Giroux right after said, he felt a little bit bittersweet that they're not in the playoffs, but it was special to do it on home ice. That was special. That was really special. So I'm happy. I'm happy that they were able to do that, man. And it was special on Saturday. It was just a great weekend, fan appreciation weekend, which was smart to do with a Monday night home closer. A little bit odd for the Sens, I think, but the whole weekend was great. 2 great wins in front of the home crowd, and capped off by Claude Giroux getting 1,000 points. Ross, I know you were preaching it at the beginning of the season that it was a possibility, but it's so far down the line. It's so I'll give you a little bit of credit there. I'll give you a little bit of credit. Yeah, it was you. Yeah.
Only on July 13th, though.
Yeah, only a couple minutes after the signing was official, eh? But what a season for Giroux. You could not have written it any better. I wrote about it in November. I think it's the best free agent signing in Ottawa Senators history, and it's hard to argue that right now after 1,000 points.
And we went to FanDuel on Saturday, and we had Claude Giroux 3 points. We said he's going to get it in style. Well, he gets 3 points, but now he's got 1,001 on his career. He's tied a career high in goals, which I think might be even more impressive at 35 years old. He's the heartbeat of this team, and you can tell the leadership ability he has based on the reaction of his 23 and 21-year-old line mates after the goal. Timmy realizes who passed him the puck and immediately bombs to get the puck, and the captain waves to the bench and says, "Everybody get over here." That's leadership, and that is what Claude Giroux brings to this Ottawa Senators team. I can't believe it either, Pilsy. I know you didn't ask me, but I'll tell you anyways. I can't believe this guy's an Ottawa Senator, not only now, but I would be shocked if he's not for at least the next 3-4 more years.
Rest of his career. I'll go as far to say that.
Well, yeah, but I'm trying to push the envelope. I almost tweeted out something. I'm glad I didn't. I was going to say, let me be the first to say that Claude Giroux gets his 1,500th point with the Ottawa Senators. But
Whoa!
Wow, you get Jaromir Jagr numbers there, man. I don't know. Like that's a long time.
I know. I was just having some fun. But hey, this is definitely just the beginning of Claude Giroux in Ottawa. And let me go this far though. Okay. Claude Giroux will not miss the playoffs again as an Ottawa Senator. I really think this team is that close to starting a run like they did back in 97, where once they made it the first time, it was just, hey, every spring, don't make vacation plans because the boys are going to be buzzing.
Yeah, it's so easy to look forward, and we do this every year, the last two years, where the finish to the season's been awesome. We're looking forward to the next season, but this is different because everyone's here. The pieces are here. Giroux is an Ottawa Senator. DeBrincat is a Senator for now. Chychrun's an Ottawa Senator. The goaltending's pretty much the only question mark.
Yeah.
The positive vibes are there for the team going forward. There's not as many question marks as there was in the past going into the summer. That's why the optimism's there.
And as Sens fan in Van writes in, we appreciate it, 279. Thank you so much. Did we catch Timmy's kiss on G Money's bucket? And that was Giroux saying thanks for what both of them did right after the goal. It had to be, right? They get back to bench. He's like, hey, that was pretty cool. Thanks for that. But
well, and Ross, I feel like those two have assisted or been a part of Giroux's last like 6 straight points.
Yeah.
The line is just incredible.
Yeah.
Like, we've talked a lot about their depth, and the second line's been missing. And you want to mess around with Giroux, with DeBrincat and all that, but that top line just works. Like Stützle, Tkachuk, and Giroux, which is a combination no one had going into the year. And I don't even know if the coaches did, man. And like, yeah, you're right. The Timmy and Tkachuk, even on Saturday against Tampa, were just feeding him all night for the empty netter, and then the assist on the goal, and then he's a part of the second assist there that got him 1,000 points. Like, it's just special. It's special, and it's the two franchise guys doing it, so it makes it even better.
Oh, it makes it unbelievable. And let's take a look at the new guy 87. Since leaving the Philadelphia Flyers, Claude Giroux has 101 points in his last 99 games. Boys, on that pace, he's getting 1,500. Just saying.
And hey, it does, like, you know what, Ross? I don't even think that's that crazy of a take. Let's go.
Okay. Let's
go. I'm on there with you.
Well, you know what? I'll be on it with you. Are we including playoff points? Because then it'll be a wrap. Like, he'll get that in 4 years.
Eric mentioned Cam Talbot let in 0 goals tonight.
Hey, Cam.
Hey, boys, how about Matt Sogard at the end of the game? They're battling. Maybe positionally not his best, Jack, but he was battling.
I mean, you guys are the goalies. You know the technicality, but I'm the guy where if you're stopping the puck, I'm happy. I don't care how you do it. And he had a couple saves where he just scrambled. And look, if you're a 6'7" goalie and you're scrambling, there's a good chance you're going to get a leg or an arm on it. And he had some nice ones tonight. A couple where he squeezed the legs, like that's just a lucky bounce, I guess, getting that to stay out of the net. But really impressed with Sogard tonight. Giroux's the first star, but I think Sogard's a close second, especially in the third period. He's their best player.
Dude, how about that glove save, Pillsy, post to post?
I thought Sogard had lots of great saves, and there was one moment where he misplays the puck and gives an absolute gift-wrapped puck to Jordan Staal, and he just claps it right away, but Sogard was there to clean that up. I feel like, guys, 2 weeks ago, that's going in the net, and Sogard's eaten that one, and it's a tough one, but his confidence seems to be boosted a little bit here, and he certainly showed that tonight.
Well, tonight after the game, we're getting some quotes here, and it looks like the confidence is starting to mold on Matt Sogard. And we hope that this carries into next season, because whether or not he's ready for a full-time NHL job, this guy is still, like, I don't know. Obviously, Levy's kind of opened some eyes here, but the 6'7" second-round pick, he's the goalie of the future as of now. Like, if you have a hierarchy, he's the guy. He's the guy you want to succeed. Based on the package that he can provide
and the timeline.
Exactly. Yeah. So, hey, let's hope he can. He says he's hungry for more is the exact quote that's coming up on Twitter right now. And this is going to be great. I'm honestly, Pilsy, we're going to do a bunch of interviews this summer. I'm most excited to talk to Mads, because I'm sure he'll tell you he didn't think that he'd be in a situation where he's been in the NHL since February. Like, he's been in the NHL for 2 months straight. Like, even just being there and being able to battle through the ups and downs and practice against these great players, it's going to do wonders for him, I think, in a long-term situation. But tonight was just another step forward for Matt Sogard and his development. I didn't think any of the goals were like bad per se in this game, but they get the 3-2 win. It's 2 defensemen again that score against Ottawa. I feel like they're getting scored on by a lot of defensemen. Hedman had one against San Jose. Montour had 2 against them in Florida.
Forsling had a bunch, and then Brady Shea had a big one last time they played. Yep, it's happening.
I wonder if that's we got to get the science team out on that one.
Team defense, and the wingers not playing defense right there. They'll tell you that's all it is. But you guys, like, if you're a goalie, you're not blaming yourself on a shot from the point, no? Like,
especially with traffic, it's
at
so
5
tough.
on 5, it's so rare that that's on the goalie, I think, if it's a defenseman scoring, depending where it's from. But also, side note, we're probably going to get to it. Erik Karlsson, 100 points tonight, got 2 goals to get it. That's amazing. Like, a great night. I mean, I've been cheering for him all year. Norris should be in the bag.
Oh, yeah.
What a season. 6 defensemen to ever do it. Unbelievable.
Hashtag sends abroad. We'll get to that at the end. And then Pilsy and I today in the Locked On Senators podcast, anyone who hasn't listened to it, available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. We talked about the Club Bell experience, having time on the weekend. We'll get Jack's take on that on at the end of the show, and Kara mentioning that the postcast on Saturday was gold. Yes, we had some fun with that. One take, you know the deal. No editing on these videos. It's just what you see is what you get. You hit record and see what comes out of your mouth. And,
Ross, of course there was no editing. You ended the video upside down. I think if people thought you edited that, they need to give your head a shake.
I felt upside down in that moment. But that was awesome. So tonight's game starts out great for the Ottawa Senators. 5 minutes in, Claude Giroux gets his 33rd goal of the season. Ooh. Brady Tkachuk gets assist number 46, and Tim Stützle hits the 50-assist milestone. Pilsy, walk me through that goal.
The first goal?
Yes, please.
Timmy to Brady, and then Brady, they're looking for Giroux. You mentioned it. I think that's the first thing that comes to their mind when they get into the offensive zone with the puck. And if you're looking for Giroux, it's not hard to find him. He was backdoor, and that's an easy tap in for Claude Giroux. And Ross, when he scores that goal, are you thinking it's happening tonight 100%?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's no way he just gets 1 point and that's that. No, it was happening for sure when he gets the opening goal in my mind.
Oh, it's so good, man. And at that point, too, the crowd's just going absolutely bananas. Like we saw it on Saturday. The crowd has been so good, and the players are saying it all year. The crowd's been so money. And for them to put on a show for everyone in this final fan appreciation 2-game set doesn't get any better than this. Now, it does in the game because 1 is great, 2 even better, and it's that top line again. This time, it's Giroux that finds Stützle. Brady Tkachuk gets the secondary assist. Now Brady is up to 82 points, confirming his first point per game season in the National Hockey League. 82 points in 81 games right now with 1 remaining. He also has not missed a game in the last 3 years outside of his holdout where he'd signed but wasn't ready to play. This guy is as durable as they come, and we know he's battled through a lot. He had his hand taped for half the season, for crying out loud, last year. But Jack, take me through that rush and how you saw that play get in.
I mean, I think they had the ISO cam on Giroux when he, obviously gets his 1,000 points. There's going to be cameras all over him in the building, but he has a nice little play. Like Tkachuk starts it by going into the zone and forechecking and getting possession of the puck. And when Tkachuk does that, you can see Giroux looking like, who do I have? Even before he has the puck. A little lesson to the kids out there listening. When you don't have the puck, look where you're going next, what the best players do. But then Giroux gets the puck, and he has to readjust. Like, it wasn't a perfect pass. He readjusts and still makes the play over to Stützle. And Timmy makes no mistake for his 38th of the season, which is also incredible. We thought we saw the 38th on Saturday, but Timmy buries this one, makes no mistake. And was the reaction after from the 2 franchise studs in Stützle and Tkachuk is what makes it for me. Stützle scores his 38th of the year. He's having a breakout season. Immediately skates and goes to grab the puck at the blue line. I think before the puck was even in the net, Tkachuk's waving to the bench to come on the ice for everyone to get on there. Like, it was a great reaction. And Giroux doesn't seem like a guy who loves a ton of praise, but you could tell he was just elated about that and having the whole team out there. What a moment for Giroux and his family as well.
Amazing. And our friend over at Big Head Hockey tweets out, here's the full list of under 21 players since the 04-05 lockout to reach 87 points. Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, Alex Ovechkin, Steven Stamkos, and Tim Stützle.
Are we confirming? Is that good?
What a list.
That's ridiculous. And now I know he was 3rd overall, but he's the only person on this list that didn't go 1st overall.
But not just 1st overall, true. Ross. Those are like generational talents. Like Stamkos, maybe not Stamkos. Like, I think he came in, but he was still like one of the best 1st overall picks.
Throw with generational talent.
He had 60 goals when he was like 22.
Well, once they got rid of Barry Melrose, he woke up.
Yeah.
Barry Melrose was trying to make him into a defensive specialist. Like, I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah, this is what a list, man.
I love how then right under it's like, oh, he's already got another.
Yeah, no kidding. And then Tim Stützle is a golden retriever. Like, he is the puck retrieving guy. Has there been a monumental goal that Tim Stützle has not been the guy to scoop that puck up?
It's awesome.
Just everything runs through him, man, and it's no coincidence that he's the benefactor of Giroux's 1,000th point. Like, he's finishing, man. He's not just a disher this season; he's a finisher.
He's gonna score so many points next year.
So
Yeah.
many.
Well,
Oh my
in that tweet, it
God.
says the over-under at 100, and I know you guys were
I'm at
throwing it
115.
around.
I went crazy.
Man.
I mean, he's on pace for like 97 this year.
No, I know. It
Fair.
sounds crazy just to say those numbers, but it's not crazy. That's the crazy part.
And he doesn't even have Norris as a guy where it's like pick your line that you want to go up against. He's been getting, and he probably still will now that he is elevated to that level.
Yeah.
He's always going to get the number one defenseman. But at some point, some teams, if Norris is going one week or 1 month, then maybe you get a little bit different. But just unreal. Unreal that Tim Stützle's an Ottawa Senator. The top line, like, that should be in stone. I don't want to see any movement on that top line. Kachuk on the
Agreed.
left, Giroux on the right, Timmy down the middle, and just build down from there. You've got lots more talent. It'll be great to see how it all shakes out. Reminder, Locked On Senators ain't going anywhere when the season's over. Monday through Friday, we'll be here through the ups and downs and a very eventful offseason, to be sure, on and off the ice for the Ottawa Senators. So that's all coming up on Locked On Senators. Same with exit interviews and draft rankings coming up. You know, we love the draft. We'll set you guys up that top 64, top 2 rounds. We're going to break all that down coming up in the next couple months on Locked On Senators. Tonight, it was a 3-2 win. Ottawa went up 2-0 after the first period. And then what happened? We'll let you know right after a quick word from our friends at the Glebe Central Pub. You know how much we love our friends at the Glebe Central Pub. Everyone at the Glebe Central Pub wants to thank you for making the Postcast your go-to spot right after the Locked On Senators and the game. Like, this is great. This is the first year that the Glebe Central Pub did the shuttle. And it was such a success. We just heard from Blair. It's already in the works for next year. So thank you for everyone who's taken the shuttle, whether it's once, twice, 10 times, 30, whenever you go to the games and take the shuttle, it does help us as the show as well. So we just wanted to say thank you from our friends at the Glebe Central Pub. 779 Bank Street. Let them know that Locked On Senator sent you. We hear that it's the favorite watering hole to go to after you score your first NHL goal. We hear that the darts are great there. We hear the service is awesome. It's just all good times at the
How
Glebe.
about a shot ski, Ross? If you want to get fun, you can get 3 of your buddies and 4 of you can line the ski up and go for a shot ski. That's an absolute blast.
Absolute blast. 779 Bank Street. Make sure you let them know that Locked On Senators sent you. It's the Glebe Central Pub. We love our friends at the Glebe Central Pub. Go check them out, 779 Bank Street, and make sure they know who Locked On Senators sent you.
And we are also brought to you by our friends over at Athletic Greens. After a great night out at the Glebe Central Pub, why not get a couple vitamins in you? And when I say a couple vitamins, that's a bit of a stretch because there's 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and more so you can start the day off right. I have one every morning. I've been having a really good streak. I'm pretty sure I'm on 3 weeks straight of having my Athletic Greens. And if you're worried about going on vacation or traveling, they got travel packs for you. So there's no excuse. You got to be taking your Athletic Greens. It's good for your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, energy, recovery, focus, aging, all these things. And it's lifestyle friendly. AG1 contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals, no artificial anything, and it still tastes great. Right now, to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. It's easy. All you got to do is go to athleticgreens.com/NHL Network. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/NHL Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
All right, you're listening to Postcast presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and the Glebe Central Pub. Thank you so much for joining us after the game. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller, and we have Jack Richardson here as well. All of our @ on Twitter are just below in the description. So if you want to learn more or see more, you can go there. Jack, you pulled up a tweet. Absolutely loved it. Walk us through it. It just explains what kind of character this team has off the ice.
Yeah, so I mentioned, Brady Tkachuk, Tim Stützle, just the faces of the franchise, right? The long-term deals, they're young, they're fun, and they've been here during the tough times. And this tweet just says it all. It's from Ian Mendez. Tim Stützle and Brady Tkachuk are still signing autographs in the runway leading into the Sens dressing room. This is a good 10 to 15 minutes after everybody has left the ice. I think they're signing for every kid with a jersey. And
that's awesome.
You know what? Maybe they probably do stuff like this every game, but the fact that this is the last one of the season, it's been that kind of year for the fans where, I was looking at attendance numbers. They're skyrocketing this season back to where we expected them to be during this rebuild. Right? It was a couple lean years, and COVID obviously didn't help with that, but it's just special to see, and all the stuff in the community with Brady that he's doing with his fiance, with the Boys and Girls Club. It all just comes tying together, and the on ice stuff has been a bit frustrating, but these two have had fantastic seasons, and this stuff just matters so much to like a little kid. Like, we're talking about a small market team here that it's wedged between these two juggernaut franchises in Montreal and Toronto. It's so important that little kids are getting hooked on the Ottawa Senators so that their kids in 30 years can now be Sens fans. It's that generational thing. It's really important, and I love seeing that stuff. As a guy who grew up here during the kind of the lean years, I miss that great those great early 2000s teams. I was just a bit too young for all that, so seeing this is just so cool to me.
Yeah. And that's the kind of thing that these kids are going to remember. And the parents, like, I think the parents really take notice of it. They see these, like, most parents are probably quite older than Timmy and Brady, and they're like, these young men get it. Like, they're taking time to show my kid that they appreciate them as fans. I mean, fan appreciation night, it all ties into that. And when you have a signed jersey, like, Ross, you even have jerseys that you've had from a little kid. Like, if you have a signed jersey, especially, that's something you hold on to. Even if you grow out of it, you're still going to hold on to that. And you're going to look at that and be like, I remember meeting Brady Tkachuk and Tim Stützle. Ross is going to go get his kids' jerseys. But it's something that doesn't take a lot of time, but you still got to give stick taps to Brady and Timmy, because it's been a long day. Yeah, look at all those autographs Ross has. Like, that's something you remember, and you keep going. Did you get the full team there? Damn.
Roger Nielsen right here.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. That's at one of those signing events where I think it was like Sends at Your Service dinner way back. And
nice.
I was just a little kid.
I met Alfredson when I was maybe like 8 years old, and I'll never forget. I was wearing my jersey, and he's signing it as I'm wearing it. Like,
that's cool.
I'll never forget that. And my buddy was there with me, one of my best friends, and it was like, we'll never forget that. Both of our jerseys are signed by Alfredson, and it's still kicking around somewhere in my house here. I could go scavenge for it, but it's those moments, like, and these guys are going to the game. And boys, we were there. I think when we were doing that late postcast on Saturday, we were in the rink late. It was a bit empty, but everyone's hovering around the tunnel because it's this thing now. The Sens do it all the time, and they're good at picking out just the kids, because the kids are not going to go off and sell the jerseys or do anything like that. It means so much to them, and doing it on a game like this, even when you're probably a little bit disappointed about no playoffs, is it's really cool to see, and speaks to the character that's been built here in Ottawa.
Couldn't agree more. There's some people in the chat that are actually enjoying the jersey, so I'll point out a few more. Got a good laugh out of this. Marshall Johnson, the old GM way back in the day.
Okay.
I remember him as the guy who got Zdeno Chara in exchange for Lexi Ash. We got Martin Havlat right here. I always remember this one was a super weird one. You know what that is? See this here? I'm going backwards, so it's weird. This bunch of lines. Marian Hossa. He always just had like a bunch of random lines there. And then I was circling this one here, 26, friend of the show, Andre Waugh.
Nice. I was going to say Eric Brandstrom signed it way back then. Holy moly.
Randy might not have been alive when
yeah, no kidding.
Franchise.
Franchise. Hilarious. Hey, a Locked On Senators calendar would be elite. Can't control life. I don't know how to make a calendar.
But are they talking about, like a picture calendar, or just a calendar that has all our events and stuff going on?
No, I think like a picture calendar. And fellas, before we get back to the scoring summary, and it is fan appreciation night, like we have to pull up the photo. Like, we were in the Sens.
Yes, that was epic. That's a big moment for us.
What a shot! Awesome. What a shot!
That's money.
Oh, yeah.
Those aren't on
the
Twitter.
Boys.
Seen it. I've threw it up on Instagram too. LockedOn.Senators. That's Christmas card stuff right there.
I was gonna say that's the kind of stuff you put on buses and billboards. Like come have a good time at the CTC.
Yeah, no kidding. Can we get someone who's a graphic designer? Those Canadian heritage moments and that graphic? Toss that on one of those, because that is absolutely legendary.
Well, I was thinking about putting like a big white bar basically going up to like the red on Pilsy and mine's jersey, have that just white, and then have it as a template, and have this as the backdrop of the postcast next year, and then just the team names and the date or the game underneath.
Yeah, we could do something like that. We'll play around with that.
This should be in circulation. It should be out all the time.
So you know what I want to point out about it? This was 100% after a goal. Like we weren't just doing this. Okay,
I look like I'm yelling at my friend Brian.
I was gonna say Ross is berating Elliot in this one.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, just not I'm not hating on any other fan, but why are we the only ones on our feet here? Okay, we were having a great time, obviously, but like let's go here, guys.
I was gonna say, Jack, I don't think anyone in a 3-row radius had consumed the amount of alcohol that we did, so that might be one reason why.
It could be. But you know what? Hey, I'm sure the Brian Elliott heard us.
He had to have.
He's gonna retire. Like you have to retire at now.
It's not a coincidence that they put all the goals in the first and the third.
Yeah, true.
They got 2. I guess they got 2 in the second, but just
Oh, that means they got 5 in the first and third. Math guy.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, majority. Yeah. No, what a great pick. I'm glad they got that. It got us a shot there, and
yeah, because we'll peel back the curtain here. We're like, hey, didn't we get a picture of all 4 of us? Like, where was it? And we really believe that the server took it on her phone accidentally.
We do, and this was postcast, so we were there's a lot of cameras going, right?
Everyone saw.
Yeah. We had a bit of a crowd for the postcast, a live crowd for the postcast, but yeah, that picture is still out there somewhere. So if the server who took the picture is listening, we'd love to have it.
Boys, how much does Martian's voice carry? At the anthem,
Martian is elite. There is no one better in the world at getting out a chant or a call out or some kind of yell in between pauses at the anthem, and the whole arena hears it. And we know this because Tyler Boucher, when he was playing on the 67s, Martian did a mid-anthem yell out, "Let's go Boucher!" And he was like, "Yo, was that you that yelled that? Like that was insanely loud." Like if there's one thing he can put on his resume, put that on the Martian resume. Elite at anthem yelling.
Elite at it. That was awesome. Just overall amazing experience at the game. We'll save Jack's thoughts at the very end because we got a game to break down. The Senators, by the way, boys, preseason over-under in points for the Ottawa Senators.
Looking close.
Was 86.5. It all comes down to the final game. Like
that makes me sick. It makes me sick when they're right about that stuff. It really does. Like, how do they know, man?
Yeah, we'll cut out the part where we said hammer the over. Well, hey,
get the win.
Hey, if it hits, a win's a win, Ross, as you like to say.
It would also bring them to 40 wins on the season, and they haven't had that in a few decades. Not that long, but you know what I mean. A few moons ago.
6 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to look, we got a couple things we can look at now. I think a negative single-digit goal differential should certainly be in the mix. It's -9 right now. I think that would be a nice little kind of feather in their hat. I think that getting 87 points would be very, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it's like there's a clear separation then between you and the Red Wings.
Yeah, that's what you want.
That's I just want them to ruin Buffalo's chances, and I don't know if Buffalo probably won't sneak in. I don't think they got games in hand, but
yeah,
a lot has to go right there. And
Pittsburgh's last 2 games, and Pittsburgh's on the outside looking in. Their last 2 games are Columbus and Chicago.
Like I guess there's a world where Florida and the Islanders miss, which would be like technically the math probably isn't there, but anyway, I don't want Buffalo in if Ottawa can't be in. That would be a dagger. Especially if the Sens lose to them on Thursday. Here's a fun one. Would you have, if I've told you at the beginning of the year that if Tim Stützle had more points than the team, would you have been happy? Probably would have said no. But like it's close now, right? You're gonna be 87, you got 88 right now. I was like thinking about that, like Pasternak and the Bruins are just going off.
I would have been happy. I think I would have been happy with it, Jack.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. It's a great line. Like it's crazy that they came right down to the last game and they'll be on over or under.
What'd you say about a great line? I found one. Ian Mendez, but this is great stuff right here. Courtesy of Ian Mendez, But look at that. Like that.
Oh,
That's
legends.
a photo that we're going to see in like 20, 30 years from now.
Well, that's Ian's perspective, and it's still a great photo, but I want to see the actual one, and like that'll be the one. That'll be the header. What? No. But like Giroux, like definitely not wearing the skates for that. That goes back to what Ian said before. Timmy and Brady still in their full gear, given our jersey signings, right? Giroux was busy, but
does Giroux hate kids?
You heard it here first, folks, that Claude Giroux does not.
Giroux, no time for the kids.
Not a man of the people.
Hey, once you have your own, there's no time for others.
Yeah, fair. Especially when you got two of them.
In the chats that are just like, oh yeah, that's enough. But my goodness, what a line this is. And yeah, like I was saying, you hope that this is a line for the next number of years with the Ottawa Senators. So they combine for both goals in the first period in this game. The Sens are up 2-0. You mentioned it, Pilsy, right off the top, but that Mad Sogard missed stick handle attempt was the next kind of highlight I had written down, where it's like, oh boy, dodged a bullet there. But then they finally break through. Take us through what you saw in Brett Pesce's goal there, Pilsy, with 5 minutes left in the second.
Yeah, I mean, this is one, you guys know I often like to highlight the assists of goals, and this is one where you really see how smart of a player Netchas is. I mean, he drops it off for Pesce, the trailing guy, but the reason it's such a great assist is he fools 3 Sens players into drawing towards him, and he does a switch with Pesce. So he's coming in like this, drops it, and then Pesce comes the other way, and all 3 Sens players, rightfully so, Netchas has the most points on the team. You got to be aware of him. You got to respect him. They all go towards him. And then by the time they've realized they've screwed up and now they've given way too much space for Pesce and they try to adjust for it, he's already put that puck in the back of the net and it goes top shelf, high glove on Sogard. I feel like that's one of those check the game notes, and they had that one figured out, as Sogard high glove certainly has been his weak spot so far this season. So that makes it 2-1. But yeah, Netchas, I mean, he really has opened my eyes to how good of a player he is. Like I thought he was going to be a good middle six guy. He's a top line player.
Yeah, he's a poor man's Tim Stützle in terms like style of play.
Yeah, kind of actually. Yeah, right. That's fair.
Quick stops and starts.
His skating's crazy, like through the neutral zone.
He's one of the only guys, when we were in Belleville working, I took a photo during warm-up of the other team because I had seen him at the World Juniors with Czechia.
Oh, yeah?
And I was like, this guy's good. Yeah. Nekash? I always say
Netchas. That's what I thought it is.
I've heard Netchas.
That says it's probably the opposite.
Yeah, no kidding. Jeez.
Why don't we just call him Jordan Stahl? Hey?
Yeah, make it easy. Yeah.
Ridiculous. We'll get some Sen Central standouts as well. But Jack, were you nervous when Brent Burns tied it up, started the second on the power play?
Yeah. The PK has been bleeding goals lately. 5-on-5 has been good, but when one thing's good this year, the other thing sucks. So, they tee it up too with the Hurricanes struggling on the power play all season, especially lately, and they're not an offensive team. And then boom, power play goal for the Hurricanes to tie it in the third. Brent Burns, what an addition for that team. I like that a lot. With him and Slavin, like that's a great deep pairing. So that's what he does though. He shoots pucks, like that's all he does. And we know, let's date it back. I mentioned Erik Karlsson earlier. That 2016 season when Karlsson was snubbed after having 82 points in a season, it was Brent Burns who took the trophy from him because of a supposed elite defensive play over Erik Karlsson. But this guy's an offensive defenseman, used to be a forward, so you can't be surprised when he's putting the puck in the net like that.
Well, Jack, I mentioned on the pod today, he's point per game against one team in the NHL, the Ottawa Senators.
Wow.
25 points in 24 games against Ottawa.
Nice nugget. That's a good one.
Yeah, and he scored again tonight. It's a big goal for him, 15th of the year. Who else but Nekash on the assist? And Seth Jarvis, who was robbed. Seth Jarvis was robbed a couple times tonight by Mad Sogard. And then who else to get the game winner? Then Claude Giroux. Pilsy, it's another one of his sons here that fed him. Shane Pinto got him the puck on that one.
Yeah, I like that play from Pinto because the puck is going the other way, but he has the sense to be like, hey, if we're able to get this loose puck in the neutral zone, I'm kind of behind the defense here, and he was right at the line. And that's a point where you can decide, okay, I'll wait here at the line. I'll cherry pick a little bit, because there's a possibility my team gets this puck and then I'm set for a break, or I can quickly pivot and head back if it doesn't go the right way. But he gets it at the blue line. He loses it in a battle there, but that's all right because it's a loose puck. And then Giroux kind of does like a little bit of a backhanded chop that ends up going in. And I think Freddie Anderson just wasn't ready for that type of shot, and it beats him clean. And my God, 1,000 career points, just not good enough. He gets 1,001 points on a nice goal. Game winner at home, nonetheless. That's what Claude Giroux does. He's an absolute legend.
The secondary assist on that goal, Eric Brandstrom, who's now on a 3-game point streak. And going back to the trade deadline, since the trade deadline, Eric Brandstrom has 9 points in 17 games. Sorry, that was going into tonight. Make it 10 points in 18 games for Eric Brandstrom since the trade deadline. And some encouraging words from Pierre Dorion saying that he wants to get him back, get him signed. But you know what?
Big time.
Pierre Dorion at this time of year. This is the same guy that said he was comfortable going into next year with his same goalies and then got rid of everybody.
Got rid of 2 or 3 of them. Yeah.
2 out of 3, okay? We're comfortable going in with 3. They go in with 1.
No, I had a feeling that would happen, though. You don't go into a season with 3 goalies.
I know, but just saying, this is the time of year where you're going to kind of preach to the choir a little bit and then actually go about your business and then explain rather than, what do you say? Beg for forgiveness rather than ask permission? Like if he comes out now and he's like, we don't know about Brandon.
Ask for forgiveness. Yeah. You got it right. Yeah. You just flipped it. But yes.
I switched the flip on.
No, don't do this.
No.
You know what Pierre Pierre did a lot of today in that interview with 1200? He punted answers to Monday. He's like, I'll answer at the end of the season. He's been doing that a lot this year, punting it till we answer at the trade deadline. Well, Pierre, you got a week.
Imagine
then it's Magic Johnson verbal meme. I ain't
gonna be here.
Yeah.
Friday, and then Alex DeBrincat contract negotiation. That's gonna be a tough one, eh? Yeah, for the next guy.
Yeah. Wouldn't want that to be me.
That'd be interesting. Imagine.
Oh, boy.
No exit interviews. Like, I don't know if we're gonna see that kind of summer, but
no, I don't know what we're gonna see because the highs have been so high and the lows have been so low this year that you just kind of wonder, like, where do you decide middle ground is? That's going to be a decision for the organization.
Mr. Smith, it's got to be, right? That's the easiest change to sell, like, hey, we're trying to get better, I guess. I don't know. I don't have any of the answers. It's easy to sit here and be like, yeah, do that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I have no idea either. All I do know is that on the ice, this is going to be an exciting team to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, check it out. Our boy, Lord Dunk Lord, who's been popping up all over for us. Look what he does.
Yes, there it is.
Nice. Thanks, look at the speed.
Appreciate you. That's good.
That's perfect.
The Canadian Heritage moment.
2-0 since that picture was taken.
Yeah, word.
Oh, boy. I like that. And thanks, Lord Donk Lord, if you're here. We appreciate that big time. All right, we're going to get to our Sen Central standouts coming up. Don't go anywhere if you're in the chat live. We aren't going anywhere either. But if you're listening in your car, we'll be back in just a moment. You're locked on Senators wherever you get your podcasts. All right, the Ottawa Senators win 3-2. Claude Giroux now has 1,001 NHL points. Tim Stützle has 50 assists. Oh, yeah. And 38 goals as well. Can he get 2 goals in the final game? I hope the boys are setting him up like they were Brady going for number 30 last season to get this kid to 40 goals. Imagine 40 goals, 50 assists, 90 points. Oh, such a clean stat line. I'd be all for that. But we'll get it. We have 2 days to preview that game against Buffalo. Tonight's game, though, one stat we haven't brought up yet. Mads Søgaard beats his countryman, who he's looked up to for his whole life. Freddie Anderson, the only 2 Danish goalies who are in the National Hockey League right now. And he got out-dueled. I love to see it.
He got outdaned. And I'm sure Mads Søgaard is actually probably looked down on Frederik Andersen for most of his life as a 6'7" guy. I'm not sure how big Freddie Andersen is, but yeah, that's a nice story because, like they mentioned in Denmark, hockey's certainly not the top sport. I'm sure soccer or probably handball is actually a big one there. So that's something that you see someone from your area, your part of the world, have success on a big stage. And that provides a lot of inspiration for you. So it's nice that Søgaard was able to do that, beat kind of a guy he idolized as a kid.
Ordained, you could say, as the best goalie from Denmark
right
now.
I like that.
So great stuff there. That can lead us in to our Sen Central standouts. Who would like the lowest hanging fruit of all time? And to even tease it further, who will Igor Sokolov give the goggles to tonight? 215 votes so far, and 96% are Claude Giroux.
Jack, you take it. You take it.
Only 96% are Claude Giroux. It's just a no-brainer, right? I'll take the low hanging fruit. Thanks, boys. Claude Giroux, and not just because it was a special night for him. He was awesome. Like, he was skating. Yeah, he had some nice back checks. Like, he had all the legs going, and that was the Claude Giroux experience tonight, and he capped it off with a game winner. So it's obviously it's Claude Giroux. He's the Sen Central standout, but there are some other guys. It was an all-round good team game for the Ottawa Senators to close out the home season.
Man, just having Claude Giroux. Hey, boys.
Yes.
Claude Giroux scored the first goal of the season at the CTC and the last.
Ooh,
nice.
Very
he
nice.
did. Wow. Both
Piller
were electric.
Tweeting this one out.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to go #goalie friendly show, Mads Søgaard. I know, we've been hard on him when he's struggled, or I shouldn't say hard. I feel like we've been fair on him, knowing that he's a young goalie and he's put into a lot of pressure and into a situation that maybe he's not quite ready for yet. But he comes in tonight, and recently he's played with a lot of confidence, and you got to give it to the kid. It's not easy to have this put on your shoulders and kind of have the two veteran guys out for a while and being flown down to Florida after feeling sick day of and getting the nod and all these kinds of things is very tough for a young goalie. And in tonight's game, he made a lot of big saves, and he even covered up for a big mistake on Jordan Staal there. At the end of the game, that's where it all comes down to.
Oh, actually Jordan Staal or Martin Nikesh?
No, that was Jordan Staal. Yeah, for sure. This is not a Sportsnet broadcast. But that at the end of the game, that's where he makes his money. Like, that's where I don't care how good you are all game. If you can't shut the door when it matters most, that's one where DJ's going to be throwing his hands up and saying, damn, like, we had this game. We just couldn't get that save at the end. And he makes multiple good saves at the end, even if it looked a little scrambly and it kept all of us pretty nervous. I bet there was a lot of people on the edge of their seats at the CTC in this one, over 19,000. I'm assuming we're all leaning over. And Mads Søgaard, as the Great Dane does, he comes up big. So Mads Søgaard is my Sen Central standout, presented by the Glebe Central Pub.
I love that. And I love how he had moments tonight where you're like the battle in the final moments, that glove save cross ice. Like, I feel like he needs more of those to keep the confidence up. And I hope he gets that start in Buffalo. Give it to him. He had a 931 save percentage in tonight's game. I would love to see him creep his season save percentage as close to 900 as possible. Is that like 887? I think coming into tonight, you want that to at least be 895. You don't want to be in the 880s ever. So hopefully one more start can push him up there. But you're right. Great game tonight for the Great Dane. There's a couple guys I want to give it to. Man, it's too hard not to go on that top line. And man, they both got a lot of power play time tonight, over 7 minutes for both of them. I'm splitting hairs here choosing. I'll just go with Timmy, I guess, because he got the goal and he did get an important goal in this game to make it 2-0 at a time. And I'll go with him. 3 shots on goal, 2 penalties he did take in the game too. Not a huge fan of that, but Pilsy, I know you're the big face-off guy on this show. Tim Stützle going 2 for 3 in the dot.
Oh boy,
Not a whole
Timmy.
lot, but hey, 67% ain't bad. And a lot of the other guys weren't really going tonight. Like, how often do you see Giroux under 47%? You see Brady at 25%, only 2 for 8. So I know he only had 3, but kind of nice getting a couple back there against a great face-off team and the Carolina Hurricanes. But no, overall, Timmy was dancing tonight. Timmy was doing his thing, and I want to give him some props. So I'll go Timmy, but obviously it was between that and Brady Tkachuk.
Can't really go wrong with any of those 3 that we picked there. I don't think those were the 3 stars, weren't they? I don't know if we weren't in the building, but I'm pretty sure they were.
I can pull that up here. Also, boys, while I look that up, like, what's Igor got to do to get more than 5.5 minutes? I thought he was buzzing.
Yeah. Ross, I got it for you. Nate Chass was the 3rd star here. I really wish Igor could get a bit more of a look here. He's the kind of guy where I feel like it's important for him to get on the ice and get his feet moving, especially as someone that skating isn't your top, attribute. You need to be feeling it out there. And man, this is something when we do talk to Igor, we're going to get him back on the show, front of the show. I want to ask him about what that's like contrasting from being a top line player in Belleville, playing top power play minutes, probably playing 15 plus minutes a night easy, probably even closer to 20 minutes a night, and then going down to below 10 minutes a night, how that affects your game and how you play shift in and shift out. That'd be very interesting to see how he kind of deals with that change.
Yeah, I would love to find out. And I think we know a guy who knows a guy who can make that happen. So we'll definitely have that conversation with Igor. But under 6 minutes tonight, him and Gauthier too. Like,
yeah,
been so noticeable out there every shift. I just don't get why you limit them to 5 minutes. Like, I feel like everybody should be playing like 10.
Well,
when Waddy's on the 4th line, they play 10 minutes.
yeah, Ross, I can tell you when you have 6 power plays, that's going to happen. And Igor did not, unfortunately, get much power play time in this one, or did he even get any?
19 seconds.
Yeah, so he's not a staple on that second unit like he was in past games, unfortunately.
Yeah, and obviously Gambrell gets his minutes on the PK a little bit, which is why he was up at 9 minutes. But yeah, those 2 wingers on the 4th line, 5:52 and 5:24 for Igor and Julien Gauthier, respectively. Igor with 2 shots on goal, and I just thought he was a beast around the net again. And you got that great pass out to the top and got the screen. I thought he had a great game.
He was awesome. He had that one shift, especially where he carried the puck in, like stopped up, made a play, and that's just the stuff that you don't get. Like, it wasn't even making the play; he was protecting the puck, using his size. Like these guys in the bottom 6, like a Gambrell and even a Cast like Mark Castle, like they don't have that puck possession skill. So Sokolov is like something you can't teach, man. Like, you have to have that in your bottom 6, and I think he brings that, and it's a big summer for him. So he needs to be able to build on this a little bit of experience, that the nice goal he had on Saturday night, and push for that bottom 6, because we know the organization's probably going to go out and look for some guys. But I know you guys heard, I don't know if you guys heard DJ Smith before the game, but he kind of doubled down on the group, because I think he was asked if they need to, supplement with some more NHL experience or something, but he doubled down on the core. I don't know if he meant like the whole organization or anything like that, but I think he cited like the Kings, the Rangers, and just young teams in the league, and the Devils. He said those 3 that we need to be like next season. I don't know if he said we need to be like next season, but he just said in general, right? So I think Igor's a part of that. I think he's shown really well here at the end, and he's making the most of the little opportunity he's getting. But I like him, Kastelic, and Gauthier together. That's been a heavy line too. Like, I don't want that coming down on me if I'm a defenseman.
Yeah, I like that line too. Although I would like to see both those guys, Gauthier and Sokolov, get a little more minutes. But it's going to be very interesting to see how this offseason goes, as I really think the only questions are goaltending and filling in a couple spots in that bottom 6.
Yeah. And Pilsy, a guy we missed today when we were having that conversation, you said there were 3 open spots. You got to think Ridley Gregg's got an inside track on one of them.
It's up
an inside track. Yes. Does he have a roster spot locked up? Absolutely not, in my opinion.
I got 2 questions, and I feel like we're going long, but it's the last home game of the season, so we might as well, right?
Fan appreciation night here for all of our
Absolutely.
Exactly. Like, comment, and subscribe while you're at it, folks.
Subscribe to the pod.
Subscribe to the pod. Okay, first one of the bottom 6. So let's take. I'm going to take Pinto out, maybe, and consider him top 6, but he's not.
By the way, I want this question bad, but I was looking this up on the plane today. Shane Pinto's 22-year-old season and Mike Fisher's 22-year-old season almost identical.
Oh,
Wow.
interesting.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So is Pinto going to go marry a country star and move to Nashville too?
Oh, shit.
Let's hope not.
Damn, man. That
Damn.
was a tough one. That was a tough one to swallow. That's like the first early Sens memory I have is just losing Mike Fisher. I'm just like, wow,
damn.
that sucks. And yeah, that just put a sour taste with the Fisher departure. But so take Pinto out because he's going to be that third line center next season. Who of the bottom six that's there, like what other spots are locks? Do you?
So we talked about this. Personally, my opinion, Pinto is a lock at third line center. Joseph is a lock at third line. I have him as a right wing, but he can play either wing. So there's only one wing spot available on the third line. And then Casti, I've got as a lock as the fourth liner. So in my opinion, there's 3 locks and 3 open roster spots in that bottom 6.
Okay, I think I like that, and I like the idea of like a Pinto, Sokolov, Joseph line. And just for the record, I don't think anyone's saying that Joseph's had a good year. It's just the contract, right? You can't move it. You can't make that deal and then be like one season after.
Well, he just had such a weird season, Jack? Like,
I'm still in his corner.
Injuries all over the place. The whatever the disciplinary thing was, like it just didn't work out for him here. So do I love that contract? No, but I think Matthew Joseph, and this is a low bar statement, but he has a lot more to offer than what he provided this season.
I agree. So I like those answers. I think Castelic might. I mean, I know he got the extension and stuff like that, but I would say he still needs to fight for a spot. And especially if it's a new coach, I would say that he's probably a guy who needs to prove he can do more than what DJ's shown or DJ's wanted from him. Just because he's been the face-off PK, hit guys hard or even strength guy, but you're presuming that a new coach is going to come in and probably emphasize more 5v5 scoring for everyone else.
Yeah.
So Cassie's got to be able to prove that he can do that, and I think he can. I like his game a lot still this season, but I don't know if I'd consider him a lock, but I like for sure Pinto and Joseph and other spots for sure.
Yeah, tough call for me having my locked on player tonight, Matthew Joseph. I didn't think he was really around it too much tonight. I mean, he got the ice time. He was played over almost 17 minutes in this game, more than Drake Batherson by about a shift, and some PK work. Although Drake played 6 minutes on the power play, so about the same special teams. But I don't know, man. I'm just waiting for him to explode for a 2-3 point night, and it just feels like I'm almost grasping at something that might not happen.
Yeah, it's tough, man. And you guys know I was hard on Matthew Joseph, like in a good way. Like I was like on Saturday night especially. I want him to do well because of the contract, obviously. But he's got it. He's got some jam in that bottom 6. And even if he's not scoring, when that bottom 6 doesn't look good, I think his speed and his smarts are sometimes, like, it sounds weird to say, but like 2 ahead of his line mates, if that makes sense, because he's had sometimes so many different line mates. I was looking, he's had like 7 different combinations in the last like 20 something games. Like, it's been crazy for Joseph. So hopefully some stability with Pinto will do him some good, because they were great in the preseason last year, or this year, I guess.
Yeah.
Sens fan and Van says, what's with Formanton, a Joseph replacement? I have no idea. And we will leave that rock uncovered until any news comes out about that. But
all I'll say is I've kind of come to accept that Formanton will not be coming back to the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah, that's just a general feeling, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes, but obviously, if he is cleared, he should be welcome back because the talent is there. But you want to make sure that everything's on the up and up off the ice, and make sure he's not a part of what I don't want to say accused of, but obviously the investigation to Hockey Canada still. Every time Gary Bettman talks about it, he says soon. So
it's been almost a year since it came out. We're close to 12 months here.
If they ever do have best on best ever again, maybe that will push them to figure it out, because I don't know if you guys heard, but everyone on the team is not eligible to play for Canada. Cale Makar wasn't even like there or something.
Yeah, he was cleared immediately.
Best, I'll tell you one thing: if there's best on best, Cale Makar will be on Team Canada.
Yeah.
That's my hot take of the night.
Well, he was like cleared immediately. Yeah, that was that. Man, I mean, it feels like forever ago, but it still hasn't been resolved because they reopened everything. And yeah, it's tough. But I believe that the non-contract thing for Formanton, may like not writing on the wall, but didn't bode well either way for him. But however, the player on the ice, he would be obviously a perfect fit for that bottom six. He's kind of what they need.
Yeah.
Him and Joseph together would be pretty cool, but you can find it at Alex Formanton probably.
Just wild. 2 shorthanded goals this year for Mathieu Joseph, 1 power play goal, and 0 at even strength.
Crazy.
That's rough. That wasn't on my bingo card this year at all.
When's the last time a player had more shorthanded goals than even strength goals?
Honestly, that's a great question. And one of those goals is a 3-on-5 goal.
Yeah, against Tampa, like early in the year too. I was like, here we go. Like it's gonna start, and then nothing.
So he scored 1 3-on-5 goal, 1 4-on-5 goal, 1 5-on-4 goal, and 0 5-on-5.
He's doing the Mario Lemieux, but just like over an 82 game season instead of in one game.
Yeah.
Well,
he just needs a penalty shot.
I should just leave Jared's comment up for the rest of the show. We appreciate that.
Jared. Yeah, we'll take a tire pump when we can get one.
Nice little pick me up. Yeah, thanks, Jared.
Appreciate that. I hope people had fun. We had people in the chat who were at the game tonight. That's awesome, man. That people they go to the game, they're like, all right, I'm hopping in the postcast afterwards. We're jealous. We had a fantastic time. Jack, what's in your memory of that game? Because we kind of unpacked our bag this morning, but looking back now after the hangover subsides, where are you at? How are you feeling?
You know what? I felt the effects on Sunday morning. I obviously I can't lie about that, but I felt good, man. It was just a fun night. It's hard to,
dude. We were 13 hours.
It was a long day. It was a long day, but just the weather on Elgin Street. Just we're in the Sens jerseys. Martian had the great idea to go on the patio out on Elgin Street, and cars are going by saying "Go Sens, go!" Like we had the vibes going on Elgin Street early. We get to the rink early. Got the 50% off for the retro merch right here.
That looks good, buddy.
Great deal. Thanks, man. Yeah, the cashier said it's a steal, so it had to have been a good deal. Just the vibes were at an all-time high, and then Club Bell, you can't say enough about it. Like it's a treat and it's an absolute experience. But I would say if you're an avid Sens fan, you go to the games a lot, you got to try it at least once.
Yes.
But it's a once a year kind of thing. But the food is special. The food is. And
how about the chef? The chef Farber coming. Hey, boots on the ground, boys. Love the show. Like that's awesome. He's back there with the chef.
And the experience, obviously, with the tickets and everything was great. But the best part is just people coming and saying hi, and that they watch the show. They love the tweets, and they love all of it. Like that. That's why it's so special. So thank you to everyone who came up and took some pictures and said hi to us as they were walking by. Like that always feels great. So that probably was the highlight of the night. Like I woke up the next day, and that's just what you remember. And that the Glebe Central pub afterwards too. What a night there that was, and it's just a great time. Nothing but positive vibes for me coming after Saturday night.
Yeah, and hey, we told people to come. You would have gotten to see Igor after his first NHL goal. We're deep enough in the postcast. Only the real ones will know here, and that was just awesome. Igor wanted to hang out with the people. He's the people's guy. Yep. So. A true friend. Like I actually think he's a buddy now. So next time we're defending him with all our heart. You know what? We are biased on this show. We are proudly biased. So I'm all in on Igor. I thought he played great tonight. So let's roll.
I'll tell you what, man. Like I when he walks in, you're like, I've never like talked to the guy, right? I've been on the interviews or met him before, and he walks in, you're like, wow, okay, that's Igor, and it's like he's right there, and not starstruck, but you're just like aware, and then. Just I go over, you say congrats on the first goal, like nice about it. And then as he's leaving, just to me too, he's like, hey, have a good night, man. I'm just like stuff like that just goes such a long way. Even I'm just like, he's got a fan for life, easy like that. Just being a nice guy. And I'm sure he had I hope he had a good night too after celebrating.
I think so too. That honestly, that's just like the East Coast by in him. Like he was raised by East Coasters, honestly. So he knows how to be a good person, and he clearly shows it.
Totally. All right, let's wrap up today's show. A little Erik Karlsson chat. 100 points. Like, come on. That's unbelievable. He's how far clear is he of the next defenseman, Jack? Do you have that up?
Here, I can get it.
Adam Fox has 70 something, I want to say, so 30 something.
So Erik Karlsson is first, obviously, and Josh Morrissey is next with 75.
25, so a quarter left.
Wow.
He's got to win the Norris just because it's so impressive. And I understand the defense is not great, but it's never been with Erik Karlsson.
The thing is, it's not only not great, it's like actively bad.
Yeah, it's gotten way
But
worse.
if you're going to be actively bad, you better bring it on the offensive side of the game. And I don't know, 100 points as a defenseman, I'll take that.
I think it's going to come down to it's going to be closer than a lot of people think, just the voting wise. Because look, like obviously 100 points is crazy, but look at all that many defensemen having 70 points is nuts.
Yes.
This season too, so you can't scoff at that.
I want to pull this up because look how close it is between 2 and 8, and that's Miro Heiskanen, by the way, who's under the name bar there. But look how close it is, 72nd through 8, and then it's 25.
That's crazy. Like that is.
I think it goes even further. 66, Kel McCarr, but it's 60 games, so he'd be.
Yeah, McCarr. So I read something in the Athletic today. Dom Lashuzin. Just a quick shout out to him because he also left Jake Sanderson off of his Calder ballot when he shouldn't have, based on the math. But quick shout out there. Anyway, he wrote. He had a good stuff about the Norris Trophy, just saying like Kel McCarr should probably finish top 3 or top 5, but even
based on games played, maybe
But like the fact that he hasn't played so many games is he's he's making it a race, which is crazy because he kind of described McCarr as like the McDavid of defenseman, which is true.
Yeah,
so it's like if McDavid had only played 60 games and was still putting up this pace a little bit, and that would be the hard discussion. So it's interesting, but Karlsson's got to be up there. I think it's gonna be close. I think a lot of people are gonna have him 2, 3, and then he'll probably get it based on all the points that he gets in the voting. But I'm curious, man. I love looking at the ballots after all the awards are voted on.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the players that are just below him in points, especially. And there's a lot of them in like low key markets that might not get the love, like a Winnipeg or a New Jersey or a Buffalo, right? Like, I don't know. I'm interested. I'm curious. And I think it's Karlsson's to lose. And I mean, 3 Norrises. Now we'd be talking about like a first ballot Hall of Famer, even if he doesn't get a cup.
He's probably already there, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, the only 2-time
in my
Norris
opinion,
that aren't Hall of Famer are Duncan Keith and Erik Karlsson. And Duncan Keith's going to be first ballot.
And I mean, there was a stretch there for 3 to 5 seasons where the list of best players in the NHL went Crosby, McDavid, Karlsson.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's the 6th defenseman ever to hit 100 points, and the other names are, I'm probably going to miss a couple here, but Paul Coffey, Al McInnes, Dennis Potvin, just to name a few. Those guys were on. Was Ray Bourque one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did Leach get it, or did you already say
Leach
that?
for sure.
Okay.
Regardless, these are guys who were on absolute wagons of hockey teams, right? The San Jose Sharks suck. They are one of the worst teams in the league, trying to be bad.
I was wrong. Ray Bourque didn't.
So who are we missing? It doesn't matter.
Or Coffey, McInnes.
Yeah, I forgot.
Potvin.
Forgot Bobby Orr, hockey guy over here. But regardless, Erik Karlsson is one of only 6 defensemen to ever hit 100 points, and he's on one of the worst teams like this season and probably in a long time. So it's incredible what he's doing. McDavid last night hitting 150 points, sixth player or 5th player to ever do that. Like some of the stats we're seeing this season is unbelievable, and it's really fun. What an NHL season it's been this year, and especially, I mean, the Karlsson connection for the Ottawa Senators is pretty cool. But would you guys bring him back this summer? Let's talk about it.
No, I don't think so anymore. Now, like
you were all over that, Ross. What changed? He hit 100 points, and you're like, "Nah, I'm out."
No, I just think that you look at what's coming up, and maybe if you want to get a righty, like eventually, but I just think you can't tie up that much money. Otherwise, you're like guaranteed you're losing Chychrun in 2 years when his deal's up, and then how are you going to fit Sanderson? Like. Now, if you want to flip him for Spot and save so that Ottawa's saving money on $8 million, then we could have a conversation. But if Karlsson keeps playing like this, like why would they want to eat salary? Like this guy should be worth the money that he's making.
Well, if you eat salary, you get a hell of a lot more in return.
True.
Well, and if the Sharks land Bedard somehow, like if they get lucky, then I think you just keep him and just roll with that until Karlsson falls off a cliff, right? Because that's one of the best defensemen of all time, and then Connor Bedard, who's supposed to be one of the best prospects of all time. Like, why not run that for a season at least, and then see what you got?
The only thing I would say to that, Jack, is I think Karlsson's made it known that he doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild. He wants to be back in the playoffs.
But he's like, if you get Bedard, you're presumably done rebuilding. Like it should be the McDavid, and you should be starting to compete next year based on how good this guy is, right? So. Yeah. Like it doesn't get like I'm saying like this is going to be the bottom out for them. If
fair.
Bedard,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's
So
fair.
at that point, you just yeah, it's weird if you have Bedard and then you trade Carlson for picks and prospects, and then it's like you're waiting another 3-4 years for Bedard to get a bunch of teammates and help. So that would be interesting. Even if they're a top 4, you're probably going to get a stud who can step in 1 or 2 years. So I don't know. I don't care much about the San Jose Sharks, but it's only because Erik Karlsson's there. And thank you for Tim Stützle, by the way, also having a great season. That's what makes this a bit easier to swallow.
Super good point there. Kara mentioning is she's more sad of the season ending or the postcast ending. We mentioned Pilsy. We're gonna do some sort of bonus show this summer where we'll have a schedule where once a week we'll go.
We're gonna do some hangouts. Yeah,
let's go live, hang out, open up the guitar case and have a good time, and just have some fun throughout the summer in different situations. Maybe news breaks. Even maybe it's not Sens news. Maybe it's hashtag Sens Abroad news. Maybe it's something else that we want to weigh in. We'll make that happen. We'll do some lives this summer for sure. And great point here from Jimmy Stu. How about a draft lottery live stream?
Yes.
I feel like my blood pressure is going to be normal for the first time during a draft lottery in the last number of years. You're always hoping and praying, but now it's completely out of reach. And you know what? Arizona can have 13th overall for 2 more years of Jacob Chychrun. I'm all good with them getting 13th overall in this draft. Maybe once you do the draft rankings, I'll start to fall in love with different in that range. But for now, no. I don't think it will change. Jacob Chychrun's going to be a hell of a player. And boys, like again, the camaraderie of this team. It wasn't 4 minutes after the Sens posted the Giroux 1,000 points graphic that Chychrun had it up on his story with the goat emoji. Like he's already locked in with the boys. And you heard Jacob's dad talking about just how highly he speaks to the locker room, and that's going to help next season. There's still some holes on this team, and the worst place for a hole is the guy who's supposed to stop the puck. Especially on a goalie-friendly show like us. So we'll see what goes on, whether it's – and Sens fan and Van, I believe, asked about goalies and free agency. I don't think that's the route to go. There's not a whole lot out there, but it's going to be a fascinating offseason, and Jack will be by a ton. We'll get him in the mix on different things that – it's going to be a hell of an offseason, fellas. So, but you want to finish off the year strong. Like, I know that it kind of gave us false hope in the COVID year when they ended off, 11-2-1, something like that. Yeah. And everyone was feeling so good, so high. And obviously things came crashing down in November of 2021. November of 2021, the 21-22 season. And things just took so long to get back on the rails. But now it's just like, damn, there's so much to look forward to. And the fact that they're winning some games against tough opponents with this decor, these guys are all 23 and under.
Yep.
Yeah, and this wasn't like you could say, oh, Carolina's mailing it in, but no, they're not. No. The narrative that the East has been locked up forever is so out there. Like, it's just Tampa and Toronto, all right? Saturday, you could have made that argument that Tampa's not trying. Tonight, Carolina's got a ton to play for. We might have just ruined the best possible first-round series between the Devils and the Rangers because the Hurricanes might not have the Metro locked up now if the Devils can take care of business, because Devils-Rangers I'm looking forward to if that happens. But, yeah, the Hurricanes were trying. Like, they needed this win, and the Sens spoiled the party. They got sensed.
Yeah, ask Rod Brindamore if the Hurricanes were trying after that Stefan Mason penalty.
We didn't even talk about that, eh? The Sogard getting clipped.
Buddy, the second most liked tweet we had tonight was "Shut the hell up, Gally."
Zip it.
I was so mad.
I actually had an F-bomb in there, and I thought better of it.
Good call.
Change it to hell.
You told it down.
AG double hockey sticks.
Yeah. I was about to give him the Brian Elliott special. No F-bombs at the game. We were good. We were just yelling, Brian.
It was like he's probably going to retire. That might have been his
look that kid gave me, though.
Yeah, the video you got, there's a great the kid snapping his head back. It was on the third, like, Brian. He's like, what what's going on back here?
He turns around on the third, Brian, and guys, I'm going to pull it up here. We've been chatting a bunch today. Hey, shout out to Oscar Pettersson. He's fired up, champion. Sent some great photos there. I'm looking at Marsh and just a complete disaster. No, I don't even know where I put it. Sad. Anyways, doesn't matter. The kid absolutely thought I was the biggest loser in the world, though. It's okay. Won't be the first, won't be the last.
He'll learn.
All good, though. Great stuff overall tonight, fellas. Great stuff in the rink. If you're at the game, like, that's awesome. And Davey, hey, all good. So check this out. I actually want to hit on this a little bit. Davey says, sorry to say, boys, but without a pick in the first 3 rounds, I won't be too invested in the draft profiles. Totally cool. Our biggest day ever was last year's draft because people whose teams drafted players would then go and click on the YouTube video, especially for the second rounders, because there's not as much information out there on us. We're doing 5 shows a week. We're going to mostly it's 2 per show, but we're going to have 1 Sens topic and then 2 draft profiles. We're going to post the draft profiles separately like we did last year as well. And those are just like bonus clicks for us, basically, for other teams coming in and being curious about what. Like our Lane Hudson one did, I think it's like our 8th most viewed video ever on YouTube. And it's just like a 7-minute thing that was, anyways. So there's multiple reasons why we do it. But another reason why we do it is because it's the next generation of hockey players. And I feel like you get the best understanding of what players are coming in the league and trades of like value of prospects and that by learning about them as at the entry level. And then kind of you can follow their careers from there. That's how I typically know how old guys are, because I just think back, here were they drafted? Okay, so they were 18 then, add whatever amount of years. That's the most math that you'll ever see out of me. But hey, if you're not invested, all good. There's still plenty of Ottawa Senators content this summer that we're going to be all in on. Allie, you don't have to do any research. I'll do the research this summer, and you guys will hang out. No, Davey, no, I'm not getting you wrong at all. No, we appreciate it. Just explaining that, like, because we thought about it too.
Yeah.
They don't have a pick till round 4. Like, what are we going to do? Profile all the 7th rounders because Ottawa's got 2? Maybe 3, unless the Rangers win their first round. Hey, boys, we're Rangers fans first round.
Yep.
Let's get that 6th round pick.
Let's go.
That's such a weird condition, man. Pierre and the conditions is just... Did you guys catch Pierre with the drink in his hand? Was he
on the Club Bells?
We don't know.
Martian is pretty convinced that was not a Diet Coke.
It had some ice in it, and it was a little like one of those plastic cups. Like it would be, I don't know, maybe it was just a Diet Coke. I don't know, but I wouldn't blame him if it was, man. It was an exciting night, fan appreciation night. I mean, we certainly had our fill, on Saturday. Get after it, Pierre. That's all I got to say.
Tonight, Tim Stützle hit the 50 assist mark and became the first Senator skater to achieve that feat since Erik Karlsson in his last season with the Ottawa Senators, of course, traded for the pick that became Tim Stützle. Wild. Last note here is the Senators win 3-2 against the Carolina Hurricanes. Jamie Lee Rattray, Canada's finest, has scored the shootout winner for Team Canada. The women's Canadian team are victorious and world champions once again. Great stuff in Brampton, and an Ottawa native getting the win. We absolutely love that.
That was special. That's special stuff.
She lit me up. Hey, we're the same age. She played AA boys in minor peewee, and she always rip it past me. It was wild.
Is she the shootout goal? It was nice. It was nice.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah, ripping on that fact that it was in the shootout, but it was a nice goal, at least.
I know. You shouldn't finish a championship in a shootout.
And you'd think, too, like the women's world stage is the biggest stage for the women's hockey. You'd think that they'd figure out no shootout at some point, but something about international hockey just is like nothing goes well, like.
To bring it back to the Sens for one final point, and this is from Wayne Scanlon, friend of the show, great reporter for the Ottawa Senators. Goalie Mads Sogard was terrific, talking about joining his teammates up the ice to celebrate with Giroux. Here's the quote. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to cross the red line, but I thought, screw it, I'm going. It's Giroux.
Attaboy.
That's awesome.
So Matt's asking, are they giving the game Thursday to Levy? No chance. He's back in Belleville. I think they believe. Hey, let's get a score update. What happened tonight, Bills? Are they dead?
Two thumbs down. They're not dead, but 2 thumbs down.
Both thumbs down. Okay, they're dead.
Yeah. They're not mathematically eliminated for those interested.
They're in last place. They're 3 points in last place, and then they have to beat another team on top of that. All right. They're not mathematically eliminated.
I believe.
But tonight didn't go well. Tonight didn't go well.
No, it went as bad as possible. Yeah.
Allie, we're talking about the out-of-town scoreboard in the American Hockey League. Laval got 2 points. Cleveland got 2 points. Belleville didn't play, so Belleville still last place in the North Division.
Womp womp.
All right, fellas. Very fun postcast. Pillsy, final thoughts from you?
Final thoughts is, even though the Ottawa Senators are mathematically limited, it's nice when you can mix in those fun storylines. You get Igor Sokolov's first NHL point to Claude Giroux's 1,000th NHL point. That's the range that this team has. So it's still fun to have those stories, and they're big moments, regardless of the implications of the game. And to have two big W's and big moments like that on fan appreciation games at home is a big deal, and we're fired up. There's one game left in the 2022-2023 season, so let's keep on soaking it in, keep on enjoying Sens hockey while we got it.
My final thoughts before we get to Jack, and thank you for everyone in the chat. I am very dumb. Round robin tonight. Canada's now 4-0 at the Women's Worlds, but that was not for a gold medal. They'll probably play the States again, though, for a gold.
That's my bad. I thought they won it. I thought I saw a tweet that said that they won it. What? I don't know.
One tall in the swear jar for me. Damn it.
It's late. That's my excuse.
Farm to Fork chicken is fire. Yes, Eric. I hope you use
Nice.
Sen40 promo code, $40 off at Farm to Fork. For my birthday coming up soon, if anyone wants to send me a NASCAR style jacket with every single one of our sponsors on it, I think that would be the coolest thing ever.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate everyone for making the postcast your first listen each and every time the Senators play. For tonight, though, we say goodbye. For Jack Richardson and Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. We'll have a brand new Locked On Senators for you tomorrow. We've got Mark Mathot coming up on Friday, and we are going to soak in the final days of the Senators' regular season. The home portion of the schedule ends tonight, and it ends the same way the season started, with a Claude Giroux goal and an Ottawa Senators win. Sens 3, Hurricanes 2. We'll be back tomorrow on the Locked On Senators podcast. We're a part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.